In this tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to get this Jeffree Star makeup look. The look I'm wearing right now is as featured in this photo of Jeffree Star. As you can see, the top of the makeup is really clearly visible, so I've pretty much just replicated that on my own eye. As for the bottom, it's completely obscured by his lashes, so that part of the makeup look really is my own interpretation, much more colourful than I'd usually wear myself, but it's Jeffree Star, and it's fun and playful and happy, so enjoy this tutorial. Right, so the first thing you need to do is you need to put on your foundation, and you need to draw a pair of Jeffree Star eyebrows. Now this tutorial isn't going to cover how to draw the Jeffree eyebrows, but that could be covered in a later tutorial if there's enough demand. So I'm going to be starting from this point. Obviously I suggest that you do both eyes at the same time, because that will help you with symmetry. It's much harder to do one eye and then the other eye, because it's harder to get them symmetrical if you do it that way. The first thing you will need is a sharp black pencil eyeliner. Look straight forward in the mirror, and place your liner on the point where just above your crease, and draw like I'm doing now. Take a liquid liner and line your eyes. Extend your liner from the corner forwards. Check as you go. Take a black eye kohl, such as Smolder by MAC, and fill in under the eye. Take your eyeliner again, and line from the top, and draw something like I'm going to now. I just adjusted this line for some symmetry. Take Smolder again, and just pack it in up here. It looks kind of messy now, but it'll work out. I'm going to take a small smudger now like this, and I'm going to be applying that to the Smolder just to pull it out. The reason I recommend using Smolder is because it's very easily smudgeable. Any eye kohl which is easily smudgeable is appropriate for this though, providing it's black of course. Now take a small shader brush like so. Take the colour Plumage, or any soft black, a black that will easily smudge, and if you can, I mean the reason I'm using Plumage is because Plumage is an off black. It's actually like green, it's actually slightly like green colour, so that's Plumage there. I'm going to be just taking Plumage, and I'm going to be putting it above this line, but I'm only going to apply it to the middle sort of section of this. Now take a 252 or something similar, and take a white pigment, matte white pigment like Pure White Pigment by MAC, or Gesso, the eyeshadow, and apply it to the underneath of your brow. Okay. And now I'm going to take a MAC 213 brush, and I'm going to apply an eyeshadow called Clarity. Now Electric Eel is probably the one you're going to want to use, because Clarity is, it was a limited edition eyeshadow, but any blue will do really. It needs to be quite an intense blue, and it should be leaning towards the turquoisey side of the blue spectrum. Take a sharp eyebrow brush, like Illamasqua's eyebrow brush, this one here, and apply clarity up like so. I'm just going to be applying it up to the edge of the eyebrow, like that. Now we just need to get stuck in with the blending. Push the clarity right on top of the plumage and blend it in. Take something like a 217 by MAC and blend upwards. With your 217, you now want to take a yellow. The yellow tone I'm using is chrome yellow. You could also use MAC to a shade called canary yellow, and canary yellow is more blue, so that might work even better. I'm just going to be taking chrome yellow and I'm going to be putting it into this area, and I'm going to be taking it over the blue, and I'm going to be taking it into the blue as well. Now with yellows are quite pale colour really, so it's not very intense until you go over it a few times. Now take a blending brush, like the Illamasqua blending brush, circular blending brush, that can just go over the two colours and bring them together a bit more. Now you need to take just an angled brush, like so. You're going to be taking some blue on this brush, some of the clarity, and you're going to just pull this down the nose. Now I'm just trying to check for symmetry with the other one, but yeah, do get it nice and symmetrical. Right, and then sort of just pull up a little with that brush to blend that out slightly. Like back to the 213, put a little bit of blue on it, go in there again. Then take something like your 217 again, and just blend that in. Back to my little shader brush, I'm just going to tidy up this blending. Now we're going to go back to the 213 brush, and I'm going to take some carbon and I'm going to pat it onto the smoulder which I drew under the eye earlier. Okay, I'm then just going to notice that my first initial line here is really uneven and it needs to be fixed. I'm just taking strokes and pulling them outwards. This is with carbon. I'm going to take my really sharp eyebrow pencil again, and I'm now going to take an off black. You can still use carbon, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to be using this because I have it. You can even use plumage if you've got plumage. I'm going to be using typographic though because it's like a softer, ever so slightly softer black. And I'm going to just follow that line like so. Hang on. Let's get some pigment on the brush. Oops, that was a bit much. Something like that. Okay. Take my little shader brush, and I'm just going to pull that line just into it. Gently take some typographic onto the brush, the shader. Just pull into that line there. Take my Illamasqua blender again, and I'm just going to be pulling that out, down. Take my 252 to just soften that a little more. I'm going to go back to my 213 now, and I'm going to take a shade called Submarine, which is basically a dark frosty blue. And sure, you can take what you like. You can take the clarity again, you can take the electric eel if you've got that. It just needs to be a blue really. The reason I'm using this one is because it looks a little bit more like what Jeffree has used in his photo. So yeah, I'm just taking that Submarine under the eye. I think Submarine was a limited edition colour again, so I don't think you'll be able to get hold of it now. pull those colours out there. I'm gonna go into about there. Then I wouldn't worry about going in anymore. Scrub that brush clean and then blend the black and the blue together a little better. Now I'm going to take a soft pencil brush, like so, and I'm going to be taking Platinum Pigment, which is a MAC Pro product. Alternatively, if you don't want to use this, you can try and pack on Crystal Avalanche eyeshadow, and you will achieve something similar, but it won't be as good as this. Now I'm going to take my little angular brush again and continue to apply it into this part. Take your smolder eye coal again, apply it to the waterline. Okay, so now I just need to even things up a little. This is the problem if you do two eyes separately. It's much harder to achieve your symmetry. Back to the 252. Take some Crystal Avalanche eyeshadow and pull your Crystal Avalanche eyeshadow down to highlight your brow. Go over with a large clean blending brush like the Illamasqua blending brush number 2. What we're going to be doing now is we're going to be taking the pencil brush from earlier, we're going to be taking this one again, and I'm just applying some Crystal Avalanche to the insides. I'm blending it in on that line where we have the Platinum Pigment. Applying it right in the corner there. Just blending those two shades together. Now I'm going to be taking this brilliant product by Illamasqua called Illuminator in, what shade am I using? Odyssey. I'm going to draw it under here, ever so carefully, against that line, like that. Okay. Now, you don't want to let it dry, so you want to do this ever so quickly. And I'm going to pat on with my pencil brush some Transparent Reflex Teal by Illamasqua, by MAC. Okay, and that creates that corner. Now obviously in the image you can't actually see what Jeffree has got under the eye. For all I know, he might finish with glitter right there. I have no idea what he's got. So this is all really my own interpretation of what he might have. Oh god, the thing is with Transparent Reflex Teal and all the Transparent Reflex, they just go everywhere. The entire room is now full of them. Now you're pretty much done. To finish off the look, I'm just going to put on some blush. I'm using Katie by Illamasqua. And to help soften things further, I'm going to be using Illamasqua's blush in Intrigue, which is a white matte blush like gesso eyeshadow, and I'm just going to be taking that and I'm going to be pressing that just above that blush and into my makeup slightly. Going to go round. You're going to put that blush over the eye. This helps all the colours to just blend a little better. And it highlights your cheekbone nicely. And I'd call that the finished look. Obviously you can add pink lips or whatever other adjustments you want to.